All right, how you guys doing? Today we're going to be talking about an add-on that I wrote called Guild Roster Manager. It's something that really everyone in the guild can use. However, it's definitely most helpful to officers and the leader of the guild. But really, there's a lot of cool things about it. It tracks a lot of information. I'll just show you a few of the details and kind of how it works. So, rather than having to click on a guildie's name, all you have to do now is just mouse over them. And so you just gotta click right here, and now you can mouse over them, and it gives you a lot of information on this player. For example, let's say I'm looking at this player right here. They're on their alt right now because you can see that the main is right here. Of course, I can click on the various ones to bring up their different profiles. It does pop up their full server name on the mouse over. This is useful for merged realm guilds, particularly if sometimes people have the same name but different guilds. It'll tell you how long it's been since they've been on. It'll tell you the date that they joined. It'll even tell you their promotion rank history. So you can see they were promoted a specialist on the 2nd of September and then elite rank the 10th of November, and they've been at this rank a whole day. And these are all their alts. So the cool thing is I make it super simple and kind of a little bit foolproof. So if you want to change the stuff around, all you have to do is right click them, set them as main. Now we have a new main, or I can put them back. I can set them as all, and then we have no name, no main tagged. Not all of the information is able to be stored, is not able to be pulled from the server retroactively, so some of the things you'll have to be able to manually enter yourself. For example, the date that they joined. If you don't have that information, you might just want to make up a date or kind of ballpark it. It will take a little bit of configuration in the beginning, but it's quite useful. And so let me give you an example. Let's say I want to add an alt to them, though. So you just click the Add Alt button, and now you just got to type the name of the alt. So let's say I'm adding Acid Burn right there. Simple as that. If I don't want them, I just remove them back from that. And the cool thing is let me go ahead and re-add Acid Burn back in. As you can see here, now I go click over here, I go bring up Acid Burn, his name, and as you can see, now he's tagged into this list of alts as well. And if he wants to remove himself from the list, he can. And that's kind of a fun thing. It also does some neat little features, like as a person that has the add-on installed logs on, it'll automatically add their alts to their own list and so on, stuff like that. Now here's kind of where it gets a little bit neater, is I also have a log. And this guild log keeps track of, as you can see, all of these various things in the guild. Some of the things that are really helpful, like if somebody name changes, you now know. If somebody, as you can see, here's one right here, Kojin has name changed to Ko. And it's true because it's before, especially if you're in a really large guild, sometimes you just don't know. And as you can see, here's his accurate profile now. Of course, it's completely filterable if you don't really want to see all the leveling spam or the promotions, the officer note changes or the regular note changes. Inactive returns. One of the cool things as well is I track certain anniversaries coming up. Like, for example, let's say that, let me go ahead and just add this date right here. Let's say that they joined the guild in 2015, and we're going to put it at, let's just say November 20th, okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and click set the join date. We just give it a second. As you can see, they'll be celebrating their 2-year anniversary on the guild the 22nd. Now there's a new button that pops up here. It's the calendar queue. Now you cannot automatically add things to the calendar with an add-on just to prevent spam to the calendar and the code. So I created a little bit of a queue window. and it'll tell you what's going on. You just got to click their name. Kaylin's anniversary is November 20th. Let's go ahead and set that event. And now all I have to do is I can go to the calendar, and I come on over to the 20th of November, and as you can see, Kaylin will be celebrating 2 years in the guild. It's a pretty cool little fun feature. One thing that really makes this incredibly useful is that all of the data syncs between other guildies that are using the add-on. So it takes a bit of configuration initially, but the cool thing is once it's configured and you're syncing the data, you know, all the officers can kind of help out at the same time, and it'll sync it both live and retroactively. So if somebody's offline, and this took a bit of work to get it working well, but when somebody's offline and they log back in, they'll be able to sync all of that data that was updated or that people added while they were offline. Another cool thing is I do have a ban list. The ban list is incredibly useful. You can keep track of people on the ban list. You can add someone to the ban list. So let's just say I'm going to add you know, some random name. Let's just say it's a shaman, and I'm going to say he's a keyboard turner. Let's just say he's a bad player. Okay, you don't even have to give a reason, but it's sometimes useful. It's going to confirm it because it is really important that they do have the right name and the server and stuff like that, or it's not going to be able to detect if they try to rejoin the guild or something like that. And then I confirm it, and now I've got somebody new on the ban list. Now here's an extremely powerful tool. Is I'm going to come right here. I'm going to go to this character Rochester, and let's say I'm going to kick them from the guild. So, are you sure you want to kick them? Yes. I also want to ban the player. Hey, do you want to ban the player's 3 alts as well? Yes. Now, it should be noted as of patch 7.3, Blizzard restricted a lot of abilities in regards to having add-ons being able to kick, so you have to do it manually, but I make it as simple as possible for you to keep track of. So let's just say the person ninja'd the guild bank, so we're going to kick them, and we're going to say yes. So boom, I went ahead and I kicked Rochester, but now I come back to my as you can see, Rochester's no longer in the guild, and the reason why, and the date that he was kicked, and so on. But I can see now that Archon de Best and Desmond are still in the guild. And now I'm going to go ahead and remove those bans because those are actually my alts. And it's just kind of for fun. Another thing is if, let's say, somebody quits the guild or somebody whatever, it'll actually tell you who did what, who. So here you can see I kicked Rochester from the guild. It'll also tell you the alts that are still in the guild. So if you have somebody that you don't get a chance to ban and you don't know who their alts are just because you haven't set it all up yet, it'll actually tell you, as long as you had their alts originally tabbed, it'll tell you what alts they still have in the guild when they quit. Again, super incredibly useful. There's some pretty nice tools as well that I included, like the sync info. Anyone that's online that also has the add-on installed, it'll tell you. It'll tell you what version they're running. It'll tell you if the sync is good with them, or it'll tell you why it's not, because I also allowed a lot of configuration. So I go into my options, and yes, I want to show it. I only want to sync with up-to-date add-on users. I prefer to keep that checked just because sometimes one thing as well is if somebody has an outdated version, the add-on will tell them that they're running an outdated version as long as they're synced with other people. You can also restrict the sync to people of certain ranks. Now, my guild, I just sync with everyone because we're not too big. We're only about 240 players altogether, which is about 100 and some odd accounts. And we just don't have to worry about trolling. But some of these mega guilds, you might want to restrict it to like officer ranks. Just a heads up on that. Another thing is you can have two different kinds of syncs. You'll sync all the player info, like alts and stuff like that, but the ban list, you might want to restrict that more to just the officers and so on. You know what I mean? So that way you're getting all the player info, but something maybe a little bit more important that shouldn't be completely open so people can remove bans. You probably don't want a brand new player just free to remove the bans. Another thing is I scan for changes. On default, it'll be like every 10 seconds. You can set it to whatever number you like, but let's say I change the officer. Let's just say I change this note. It'll check for a change. Okay, so it instantly updates that one. But let's say, well, anyway, you get the idea. It checks all of these changes kind of on the fly. But you can set it to do a scan every 10 seconds. 10 is the minimum for when the server will send you new info, to 15 minutes. You can even disable it. You can do it so you just do a one-time scan just on command. It'll tell you if a long-time player comes back from offline. Like, for example, Lorarius has come online after being active for 4 months and 4 days. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I like to report if somebody's been offline for more than 2 weeks. It just lets me know. But you can set it to, let's say, 2 months. Let's just say 60 days. Totally can. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have an option to add the join date to the officer note. It'll send you, if a player's been inactive for X number of months, it'll give you a reminder to maybe kick them. Announce events, like if somebody's got an anniversary coming up, you can configure it to how many days in advance you want to know. I just set it for 2 weeks. You can also restrict anniversary announcements to only be the player's main. And of course, adding events to the calendar. Looks like I need to fix that, but just realized that. But of course, I give slash commands on everything. I just trying to make this as simple as possible. There's a lot of user-friendly features. There's some little like quality of life things that you maybe not see, like the counts, the character counts in the notes. If you're a leader in the guild and you come over to the guild info and you go ahead and edit it, now you've got a character count, so you know how close you are. If you're editing the message of the day, you have a character count as well. If somebody is joining the guild, if somebody requests to join the guild, it'll let you know when they send that request. It won't spam you with it constantly. It'll just let you know the first time it happens or the first time you log it to remind you, but that's lots of useful things. Anyway, with that being said, I really hope the add-on's helpful and useful to a lot of people. There is a lot of stuff that I'm working on, but most importantly, I did want to share one other thing. There's a couple other things, like, for example, let's say a player is AFK. I can just right-click that notification. I want to notify me when the player is active again. Okay, so the notification set. That's actually my alt account, so I'll just move real fast. And you'll see that it'll pick up a change. Notification, Archelaus is no longer AFK or busy. And as you can see, there's just like lots of little but useful features. You know, how long somebody's been in a zone. It'll tell you if they left the guild and rejoined, but they were banned. As you can see here, I was kind of playing around with it for the video. This person rejoined, but they were previously guild, and it tells you when they were kicked. It tells you why, the reason was given. All right. If you have any really good suggestions that I can add to the add-on, I'm all ears, and I hope that you guys enjoy using it. Thank you.